All right, so you see the guy here. This is Asmongold, one of the biggest streamers that you come across. And Asmongold was suspended for his position, for his stance, for more importantly, his opinion on a border. Not even our border, but it translates so well to what the powers that be want. And he got suspended for just expressing his opinion about how a nation needs its sovereignty. And I agree with this guy on multiple levels. But if you think it can only happen to this guy, come on, man.
Oh, wow, a 36-year-old man has a health scare. This has never happened before in the history of humanity. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was. So anyway, the second part is going to be about why I got suspended. So I got suspended because, and just to add some context, because it's been very editorialized on the on Twitter and everything like this. But basically what I said was that, so Ceuta, which is, and a little bit of geography here. So Spain is like on the top of the Mediterranean Sea. Strait of Gibraltar is like right here, Spain, right? And so underneath that is Morocco. And in the very, very tip of Morocco, there's a city that's owned by Spain. And it's been owned by Spain for hundreds of years. This isn't like something that's new. This isn't like a recent occupation. This has been going on for like, since before like it's like the Ottoman Empire time days, right? I don't know. I remember reading the date that it happened, but it was like literally hundreds of years ago. So they've had this city.
You would have thought the people that are here claiming the land is stolen would get involved in this, but they don't want to touch it. This is complete. This is a diaspora of conflict. They don't want to get involved in this.
It's called Ceuta for a long time. City has a population of about 80,000 people, and 40 to 60,000, obviously just by the nature of this, it's not really verified how many, random migrants just all came over in about basically one day's time into this small city. Now, this has, in my opinion, like in any other point in history, this would be viewed as a military invasion because, of course, the overwhelming majority of these people are military-aged men.
I mean, think about it. I don't know what town you live in. Chime in with the city and state you live in. But where I live here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the population's close to 300,000 for the area. If another, let's say, 200,000 military-aged men just stormed into here, you better lock your daughters up.
And so what I said is that I think that if you have that many people pouring over your border and you just can't deal with it all, like you can look at the footage of this and it literally looks like it's World War Z. It looks like looks like a battlefield, right? It's like a hell on earth type situation. There's trash everywhere and everything. I think I'm straight up said, I think you should shoot these people, right? I mean, I believe that. I do.
I mean, this is probably where he got suspended. He said, he said repel borders. That's the nautical term. Now, I agree with him on so many points. I have to watch what I say on others. But he said something that a lot of us are thinking. And I want to explain the difference between defending a nation and abandoning discipline. Now we have a border, we have a wall, we have a border police, Customs and Border Patrol, immigration, DHS, we got the National Guard. But somebody in the comments said the closer we get to the election, the more the censorship is going to get ramped up. And that's why I wanted to show this morning.
Do. I mean, this is a violent military invasion into a city, and after they got into the city, obviously these people were smashing out windows. They were obviously, breaking into stores, stealing things out of stores.
I grew up right there, and I used to work at the Panama City Naval Support Activity. Dive the Hat. We probably got a lot of friends from the dive school. I'll just say that.
Saw like one video. It's always hard to know like what's real and what's not. But I saw a video and it's like if you ever watch Troy, like whenever like a fucking Brad Pitt as Achilles like stabbed the dude in the neck at the beginning of the movie, that's like what happened. Like one of these like migrants seemingly stabbed the random citizen in the neck with this knife, right? And they killed this person. I'm assuming, right?
So we saw that where the migrants were running down the street. There was just an absolute innocent bystander. I think he might have had his iPhone out, like filming this invasion. Dude, shanked him in the neck. This is starting to become, it's almost surreal. It's like he's saying, this is like a movie. This is 300. I'm worried that what we saw over there is going to happen here. And it basically did, but it was ignored for years by various administration. Biden administration ignored it, actually welcomed it, said like, open the gates here. Come on in. We've got EBT cards for everyone.
Or at least they're in critical condition. So basically the city is being terrorized by a mass invasion of military-aged migrants that have come over for, various different reasons. And people are saying that you couldn't do that because, well, there might be kids in the crowd. And my response to that is that you should shoot them anyway. You should do this anyway. And it doesn't matter really what the collateral damage is. You should defend your borders, especially when you're being invaded by such a massive force of people.
I want to get some, I'm trying to keep up with the comments because the comments are powerful this morning. Did you see what happened, and do you classify that as an invasion? Because it looked like an invasion to me. And the other question I have is, they had 40,000, 60,000 in a day. We had 30,000 every day into our country. Now, it was hyper-focused because the city of Suda is so small. But our southern border is spread out about, 1,200 miles? Maybe 1,000 miles? So we had 30,000 scattered much further. So it didn't look as dense. It didn't look as concentrated. But it was.
So this never really was a conversation about baseline immigration enforcement. It was never about using kids or anything like that. But the reality is that with a lot of these third world countries and a lot of their cultures in the world, if you use a Western frame of reference to look at the values and the morality of the third world people like this, you're going to render yourself blind. You will not understand their theory of mind. They don't look at things the way that you do. That's why Joseph Kony has his child army, and there was Kony 2012 and everything. That never really went away, by the way. It's still happening. It might not be necessarily him, but there's other ones that are just as bad, if not worse. So the problem is that a lot of Westerners' morality is built off of the concept that everybody else thinks the way that we do, and unfortunately, that's not the reality. And so what these people will do is that they will bring kids with them, and they will use these kids as effectively human shields.
This is where I think we have to understand there can't just be a blanket policy, okay? Just the shooting. I say you use force when it's legally necessary. If you were in the military, you understand the escalation of force. If you're law enforcement, you understand that, right? You can't just start at the top and go down. You don't start with bullets and then go down to less than lethal. You got to go the other way. But the blanket policy is dangerous, okay? But we need to have an overwhelming force available at the border. And we need to use it correctly. Collateral damage, man, it's so tough. But that's where he kind of loses me a little bit, and that's understandable, right? The guy's a gamer. But that's why militaries have rules of engagement. We've got target identification. We have escalation of force. We have command authority with proportionality. A sovereign country doesn't become stronger by abandoning the rule of law. That's why a lot of people are like, well, Trump should ban the news media. You can't do that. It's called the First Amendment. People are allowed to have their opinions. Now, a lot of these people that are in the news media, they have opinions that don't align with ours. But so I'm not supporting indiscriminate violence. But we have to understand the enemy. And the enemy is invading, and they're using kids as shields. And they've been doing that for years. They have a culture that doesn't value life like we do. And the people that are welcoming them, the Democrat Party, does not value life either, because we can go and look at their policies with, Planned Parenthood. Cultural differences collide when people invade our southern border carrying kids to block things. But do you think it's planned? No. These invaders use our humanity. They use our empathy. They use our emotions against us. We value the sanctity of life. The people coming in do not care about the value of a life of a child. They don't care.
In order to invade the country and then take advantage of the people in the country. I view this a lot like a trolley problem. And so the reason what I mean by that is that basically you're choosing to stop the invaders here rather than creating a reward structure and an incentive structure around using kids, trafficking children, and effectively using them as political capital to fulfill an invasion's goal, which is to effectively take over this country. We're not take it over, right? But
they want that. For $5,000, anyone can fly to the USA? Great. So you tighten up the entrance requirements, which is what Trump's executive order just did. Thanks. I really didn't think the trolls were here this morning.
Invade the city and then use the city as a way to get into mainland Spain and then disperse themselves all over Europe. This is, I think, a very bad thing, and I think it should be stopped by any means necessary. I think this is a horrible problem. A lot of the people that are coming over there, many of them could be criminals. We have no idea. People said Morocco emptied their prisons and let those people come over. I have no idea if they did that or not. I would assume many.
Do you think what we saw in Ceuta, Spain was just a very zoomed in example of what was happening at the Texas border, the California border, the Arizona, the New Mexico? I think it was just a zoomed in example of what we all knew was happening.
In many cases they did. That's what Russia's done apparently with Ukraine. And so I don't really think this is the first time this has ever happened. There's many precedents for this. A lot of people look at this from the perspective of human rights or something like this. And I find this to be one of the most malignant and pernicious abuses and inversions of morality that we have nowadays. And I'll explain why. Never once have I ever heard about the human rights or the privileges or, what's the right thing to do for all of the people in the city who are now having to be terrified in their homes, boarding their houses up. You have these migrants banging on their doors, smashing their windows, destroying their businesses, potentially violating them, attacking them, and doing whatever they can to these people. Not once in my entire life have I ever heard about the concept of their human rights. I never hear about the people who have been the victims of these policies and this lax enforcement, whose lives have been effectively destroyed. And then for some reason, we never think about them.
We always think about, I don't, but we're always told that we should be worried about these invaders' human rights. How many of you in the chat believe these invaders should fall under the same laws that we do? They're not citizens of our country. They don't get the same rights that I do. They're not under the Constitution. That's where we are misconstruing who they are. And this is how they use Western ideology, which we're built on Christian foundations. Judeo-Christian beliefs is what built this country. For all of you that don't want to understand that, I'm sorry, it's a fact. Judeo-Christian beliefs founded this country. The invaders do not believe what we believe. They don't follow 10 commandments. They have a little thing called takia, where they're allowed to lie to you to promote the greater good of the religion of peace. They're allowed to do that. Nowhere in my Bible did Jesus say you can lie to people to get them to believe in me. I can't find anywhere in the New Testament where Jesus said, go forward and lie to everyone so that they can go to heaven. But that's what they believe. They will do anything.
Don't care about them. The only people that we care about are these invaders that are going around trying to take advantage of the country. And I think this is a profound inversion of morality. I don't think that any country has an obligation to take in migrants. I don't think any country has an obligation to let people invade their borders. And I think that at the capacity that was happening with Cuba, I do think that you should use lethal military force to repel a literal fucking invasion. Keep in mind, this is a city of...
Sorry for the language, but not sorry. He nailed it. 40,000 people in a day into a city of 80,000, all men. How many of our politicians would come out and say use military force against an invasion like that? How many? Does it warrant military force? We had a little thing on ships in the Navy and submarines called repel borders. I remember we were going through the Straits of Juan de Fuca. Look that up. It's up near, the getting out of the Hood Canal up in Washington. This was back in the mid-90s, late 90s. We had a Greenpeace boat come up alongside of us. We're a nuclear missile submarine. We had Greenpeace come alongside. We didn't know who they were, what they had. I say alongside. They got close enough. We ran fire hoses topside and filled their raft up. I'll just say that. I'm not going to say what else happened to those people. It didn't make the news, I'll tell you that. There was no news coverage.
80,000 people and 40 to 60,000 additional people tried to come in one day. That's an invasion, and I think they should use guns to stop it. And I'm not sorry for saying that. And it doesn't matter what you try to use as, emotional blackmail or something like that. Fundamentally, all of these different tools that these people use will never actually be applied in a universal way. These are the same people whose ideology leads them to thinking that 6-year-olds can transition to another gender. They're the ones that lead themselves to, defending Hamas and terrorist propaganda, because terrorists like to use kids as human shields as well, because they like to shoot rockets from schools. The reason why they do that is because there is a reward structure inside of our society that puts the damaging and the harm to children and women at a higher standard than the harm to, like, a military-aged man.
Isn't that sad? This right here is where the argument, I think, repeatedly is missed by Washington, D.C. They never say, what about the citizen? What about the woman afraid to walk down her street? What about the business owners whose stores are getting destroyed? He brings it all up. What about the family paying taxes, obeying the laws, and their rights don't disappear because somebody else crossed a border? Compassion for the migrant cannot require indifference towards the citizen. Countries aren't obligated to allow people across their borders. The bigger principle is correct. Borders mean something. Sovereignty means a nation determines who enters, under what conditions, and whether they remain. If your government cannot control who enters the country, you've surrendered one of the most basic functions of government. And this is where I think all of you, a conservative audience, connects with Zach. I think he's 36 years old. An invading army and a mass migration event are not the same thing, but man, it looks like it. And if civilians are illegally crossing a border, at what point does it become an invasion?
Now, in a general sense, I would agree with that in a peacetime reality, but whenever these people are launching rockets and large-scale invasions, I think that you need to look at this as a wartime event. And I would ask yourself, how many people got killed in World War II? How many people get killed in every single war? Civilian casualties and killing anybody who's not a combatant is a tragedy. It's a horrible thing to have happen. But
last night I put out a video where we have a sitting United States Senator, Chris Murphy, that just came out and said Iran won the war. Iran won the war. Sitting United States Senator. Do you know how dangerous that is for an elected official to get on national TV and tell the American people that Iran won? What about the men and women that are back here and they've got family members deployed? And you're saying they lost in Iran, and then you're seeing a company here in the United States ban someone that's talking about an invasion here. You feel demoralized on every level. This is crazy.
At the same time, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have borders, and it doesn't mean that you can't make decisions to protect your own people, even if it comes at the expense of other people that are trying to do this in bad faith and use this. And by the way, the usage of people like this as human shields is a war crime in itself. And that's, I think, the biggest issue that I have with a lot of these people that are criticizing this, is that I don't think that they really care about these kids. They don't give a shit about them. Like, these are the people, they'll bring kids to an ICE protest. Why would you bring a kid to a protest where there's rioting and there's...
Does it sound familiar with what we're seeing here in the United States? The Democrat socialists here in our country, the people that don't like America are using the exact same tactics that these border invaders are using. They're bringing children to an ICE protest. They're taking children to downtown Portland. They're taking children to these weird parades. They are losing. Morality is in the toilet, man.
Flashbang grenades and tear gas being set off. And the truth is, and there is a reason for it, the reason why they do that is because they want to use these kids and the harm that these kids will inevitably go through because of collateral damage, and they want to use this as a political tool so they can advance their agenda. These people they're sick. They're sick, evil people. And I also referred to the people that use the human shields as animals. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think they're fucking animals.
That's probably why Twitch shut him down. They suspended him for 2 weeks, but they'll allow a guy like Hassan Piker to say America deserved 9/11. Are you starting to understand how this is skewing the moral compass? Is disgusting. The people that allow this do not value life.
If you use children as human shields in order for you to invade a country or in order for you to do terrorist attacks, I think that you're a fucking animal, and I'm not sorry for it, and I honestly think that most people agree with me. I think that almost everybody does. But unfortunately, we've had this inversion of morality where these truly evil, malignant, pernicious people have been allowed to use this fake moral authority that they have
marry
to
6-year-olds.
dictate that we have to allow terrorism, violence, and complete societal collapse. And if we don't allow this, somehow we're the ones that are evil. I reject this completely. And I understand that in
Think about what he said. We believe with a moral compass, and we're the bad guys? If you question the integrity of elections, you're the bad guy? If you support law enforcement, you're the bad guy? If you want the criminal to go to prison for life, you're the bad guy? If you want justice in the Charlie Kirk case, you're the bad guy? If you don't believe some of these grifters, you're the bad guy? If I can't hold my nose and promote Mike Lindell after he just came out with an 18-page plan for amnesty, I'm the bad guy? Well, guess what, mother effers? I will be the bad guy then. I am grown. I'm a grown-ass man, and I'll be the bad guy because I'm not falling in line with this level of bullshit. You're not going to misconstrue my morality against me. If you don't like it, pepper your anus because it's going to get hot.
Doing so, there might be some people, this isn't a very comfortable thing to say. It's not a very polite thing to say. This isn't something that you'd read on a bumper sticker. But I think this is the nature of the world, and it's the nature of the reality that we live in. And I don't want to use a bunch of euphemisms and other types of vague and pacified language to discuss this in a way that is not authentic to its true harm and its true existence, which is what I think that's what it is. And I think that there are definitely criticisms people have of me that are valid, where like I probably do dial it up a little bit too much and maybe I could use different rhetoric, etc. But I want to let you know that I apologize for nothing. I meant exactly what I said, and I think that these borders should be defended with lethal force whenever it's being invaded by 40 to 60,000 people at the same time. That's an incredibly dangerous thing for all the people that live in that country, and I don't think that a government has an obligation to allow a bunch of invaders to pour over and potentially kill their own citizens. I find this to just be horrible, and ultimately it should be stopped. Also, there are a lot of other patterns, like I'll give another parallel to this as well, is that in a lot of gang culture, what they do, and this is, of course, nothing.
This is very important. If you've lived in a small town, maybe you don't know about some of the gang stuff. I've lived in some major cities, New York, London, Seattle. I've lived in some huge San Diego. The gang culture has a hierarchy. Criminal organizations even have a hierarchy. These invaders, this religion of peace, has no hierarchy when it comes to morality. This is so important.
Like this is a monolith, but many of people like this, what they do is they'll use children to commit crimes because they know the children will not be sentenced in the same way that an adult will do. And what my biggest argument for all of this is that I generally, and I know people might not believe this, I think most people do believe this, but the people that don't like me don't believe this or they don't want to, is that I think that I really do have the most moral and ethical position on this. Because the moment that you create an incentive, you also drive a behavior. And in my opinion, if you don't capitulate to this emotional blackmail, you also don't allow these people to target and victimize these children by using them as baggage and effectively shock troopers in order to accomplish a goal. So, for example, if these kids were being charged as adults, the entire tool that these people were using, these gangs were using of having children commit crimes on their behalf, this tool would effectively be rendered ineffective. But we don't want to do that because it makes people sad to put kids in jail. But from my perspective, the way that I see it,
It's always the same thing.
Oh,
Think of the children.
Please think of the children.
Think of the children.
Think of the children.
That's what they want. They use the kids whenever it's convenient.
is that it makes me sad to see kids that were abused, that are trafficked, and that are put into these situations because the people that are truly and profoundly evil, the people that know this, know that they can use these children because they can co-opt and use your morality against you so they can push their own evil designs. And I think that you do have to reject this in its entirety in order to have a society that isn't ruled by evil, inversion, and other types of just completely horrible people.
I've got 5 copies of the book by Gad Saad. It's called Suicidal Empathy. I bought 5 copies. I found them at a used book or at a bookstore. I bought 5 copies. I'm going to send those out to some members. This is a book you need to read to understand how our own morality is being used against us. Join the channel as a member. I'm gonna send those out to some members. I got 5 copies. I'll put a new $2 bill in the inside of the cover as well.
And ultimately, you do have to sometimes make hard decisions like that. But ultimately, making a hard decision like that should never have. That's my alarm. I was supposed to get up. It's 2:46 p.m. And so, excuse me on that. You do have to make these hard decisions. You do have to do things that are obviously, sometimes not the nicest things in the world. But I think that in order to do that, you do that in the goal to preserve a culture that is the best place that you want to live in the world as well. So that's the problem that I have. I don't think that I said anything wrong. I think that a lot of people actually would agree with me. And I think that the way that we've taken military action in the past, things like, for example, World War II, would indicate that actually this is not as much an objective reality that some people would make it out to be. And again, these are the same people that have no problem using children as props and having them, groomed by adults, about their gender, taking them to ICE protests.
Think about that. California. They don't call them, the P-files. They say minor attracted people. They have rights. Minor attracted people have rights.
Protests, putting them directly in danger because there are rioters and criminals and violence there. Who would ever bring a kid there? And these are the same people that are saying that I'm wrong for saying that creating an incentive for people to human traffic children and use them as human shields is a bad thing. And so I apologize for absolutely nothing. I said it in a very abrasive way, and I'm going to continue communicating that way. It's how I was raised. The reality is that, I was driving my dad to the hospital. He was getting one of his cancer treatments. And he said, well, what's funny about this? And I said, what? And he says, well, now they can say you killed me too, just like they say you killed your mom. That's the way I grew up. That's the way I communicate. And that's the way I think. And I'm not sorry. And I understand that sometimes I use abrasive language. Sometimes I communicate in a way that's a little bit, harsh. And, people can say I'm mean. They can say I'm evil. They can say everything. But they're not saying I'm wrong. And I think that ultimately we should look at a lot of these.
I get called so many things. I get called so many names. I got so many trolls. None of them have ever made me change my mind on my morality. None of them have made me change my mind on not supporting amnesty. Change my mind. In the comments, change my mind.
Uncomfortable truths with a lot more of a clear mind, rather than allowing it to be polluted by people that I think want to hurt us, people that want to put us in a position that is not advantageous. And that's the reason why I communicate the way that I do. It is hopefully to normalize this type of language and for people to see things for what they are rather than what they want them to be. And I think that's for better and for worse. So that's the reason why I talk the way that I do. I'm not sorry. It's probably not going to stop. I might try to I'm going to try to obviously tone it down a little bit because I don't want to get suspended all the time, right? Contrary to popular belief, it's great to have a vacation, but
Good morning, patriots, brother and sister veterans. If you're a veteran, make sure you chime into the chat. what branch of service that you served in, if you're a first responder. I'll stop it right here because there's some other stuff that I really want to show you this morning. But you get the gist of what's happening. They use our morality against us. And it's a great plan. When I can use your emotions against you, when I can use the child that I'm carrying against you, which is what's happening. It's happening right now here in our country with a certain political party. They are using your emotional morality against you. And it chaps my butt, man. It bothers me so damn much. I want to show you something here. Just a little portion of my own video this morning that I cut yesterday that I hope all of you go and watch. You've got to see this. This really, it set my damn hair on fire. And I ain't got much left. Listen to this clown.
So Donald Trump has lost this war. America is weaker. Iran is stronger.
This is how Washington, D.C. loses wars. When did the news media, when did a senator from Connecticut get to decide if we won in Iran? When does he get to make that decision? Go check out that video. You want to get fired up? You're a veteran. You want to get pissed off about who is in charge? It should bother you. Listen to this. I want you to hear this last part where I kind of close this video down. Okay? Listen to this. Anything. And the only way you ever lose is because the politicians in D.C. don't allow you to lose. When I hear every submarine in the United States Navy is out of Tomahawks, out of Mark 48 torpedoes, when I hear that the United States Navy is out of missiles, Tomahawks, torpedoes, then I'll think that we are in trouble. Until then, you ain't convincing me of that, bro. You're not convincing me that the United States military is in trouble. It's not happening. Show you some of this here this morning. But yeah, they banned this guy for just a little bit of free speech. It's a damn disgusting timeline when you can't express your opinion over horrible stuff that's happening. That's a problem. That's a real problem. It's a problem that's going to probably ramp up very soon. It's probably going to get worse, right? It's probably going to get worse as the election gets closer. We know that. And I think we've got to be ready for it. Join my channel, become a member so you can get in the Discord with some of the chaos that I deal with, and you'll understand some of the stuff that's happening. And it is happening, guys. It is happening right now. I see a lot of people saying they can't get their comments across, stuff like that. Yeah. That's we're back to the Biden stuff. But yet there's other people that can get online and say some of the most horrible crap that is imaginable with zero repercussions. No repercussions. There's a double standards. Wyatt, Purple Heart, Silver Star here. Wyatt, thank you for your service. Wyatt, you're a brave man. I think you're a moderator over on Benny Johnson's channel. Wyatt, get a message to Benny. Why has he not said anything about Mexico Mike and Mexico Mike's 18-page plan for migration, for amnesty? Wyatt, I know you're a moderator over on Benny's channel. Ask him why he won't talk about this. Right? 18-page amnesty plan is on Mexico Mike's website. There was a caller yesterday that got uncomfortable because I covered this. I thought it was disgusting. I thought it was hilarious. It's not even disgusting anymore. It's just funny that people get uncomfortable with the truth. That's what's funny. I'll take a couple of calls this morning. We'll take a couple. This is the plan. Federal immigration reform, conditional visa reset. That's called amnesty. Visa reset, I'll interpret that for the window lickers in the back of the room. Amnesty. Lines are open, 615-475-7864. Give me a call. DSA is exactly like the cuckoo laying eggs. Yeah, I agree. When these stupid... let me grab that call here. Let's go. Oh, I got to turn this on so it comes through. There we go. Let's go right here. Line 1, what is your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Sharon from Minnesota. Hi, Ben.
Sharon, in the great state of Minnesota, the primary is tomorrow. Have you voted? Are you about to vote? What's going on there?
Okay, well, what I'd like to say is I'm involved with a bunch of conservative groups on Facebook. And I had reposted some of your stuff, in regards to Mike Lindell, and I could not believe the backlash that I got.
Why? What kind of backlash?
Oh, they don't believe me, and I'm lying, and I'm basically a pawn in the Democratic. Nobody's talking about Lindell. Yeah, because absolutely nobody's talking about Lindell.
Why? Why are they not talking about this?
I have no idea. I wish I knew that answer.
I mean, here's the link on his own website, 18 pages. The title is Federal Immigration Reform Policy. The 3 words that get me, conditional visa reset.
Well, apparently it sounds like people don't want to go look. And I told them, I said, just because you don't like what I'm telling you doesn't mean that it's not true.
So they're not comfortable with the truth. They don't like the truth.
Yeah, and they're trying to say, they're calling me a troll. I mean, I've been getting all kinds of backlash, and these are from mega groups that I'm part of.
Well, thank you for calling. God bless you. Go vote.
Sure.
Minnesota in the house. She gets called a troll for telling the truth. Wow. Okay. Don't send me links. People send me links. Watch this. Man, I ain't got time to watch nothing. I hate when people just send me a link. Watch this. With no description. I typically just block those. Here we go. Anytime you want to talk, you know where to reach me. Sorry to constantly cut you off, but the stuff you say is so stupid. We obliterated. Oh, my troll yesterday. Your reply was something along the lines of situations change. Okay. Let's go John in Louisiana. What do you got, John?
John in Bride, Louisiana. That's John McCrary, sir.
What do you got, John?
Nice to talk to you this morning, Mr. Ben.
Good morning. What would you like to say?
We ought to empty Congress, the Senate, start all anew like they done back in 1776.
I don't know if that... Sadly, the people we elected won't go along with it. It's a great plan, but they'll never go along with it, will they?
I know. That's why we got to stand up. We are the American militia.
I sent out a invite to the guy that runs the Convention of States, and I'm going to try to get him to come on because I think this is important. Convention of States could very well change some things. Thank you, John.
Exactly.
God bless you. Great call from John down there in Louisiana. He sounds a little upset. I've watched this clip about 300 times. I have seen this about 300 times. I can't get enough of watching this. I think it's the fedora that I think he had a DOT approved fedora on right there. Guys, we're getting, follow me over on X. This is my live stream over on X. You can follow me there. Here you go. This explains everything. Liberal women, illegal immigrants. This sums up everything we're seeing. Lines are open if you want to grab a call in this morning. I just did a quick live stream. Had no plan, but I watched that clip of Asmongold, and I thought it just described everything so well. Let's go here. Line 3. Where are you calling from? What is your name?
Good morning. It's Anton from Sunset, Texas. How are you, sir?
Anton in Texas. God bless you, sir. What would you like to say this morning?
Man. So, things people don't understand is the moral value that we apply to everything does not exist in the third world. People in the third world will literally shoot you for $5 in your pocket. They will murder you for $5 in your pocket. So we apply, our moral rules to people invading, and they don't apply the same rules to us. And when you talk about adequate force and things like that, I think when you start learning what the third world values, you should apply their values to them here, not our values to them. Otherwise, it's a lost case, man. We will never win.
I think you're right. And they use our morality against us, don't they? I mean, that's the
Absolutely.
game. That's the game, Yeah. Anton, I
You
brought
see,
up your website here. I brought up your website, Biltong USA. I've got this on here where you're running some beef through the Biltong slicer.
Yes. That
And
was actually my wife that ran
Oh,
it
it's your
through,
wife.
yeah.
Somebody said in the chat, like your Biltong, Anton, any deals this week? Anton, what can you tell people about your business, how to get in contact with you? You're a sponsor on the channel. You've never paid me except for money through Super Chats, and you send me
Yes.
some meat.
Exactly. Yes.
What would you like
so-
to tell people about your Biltong business?
So I believe we make the best in the country. We are already at the bottom line of what Biltong prices. If you use code BEN, you'll get another 10% off that. And if you hit $64.95, it's free shipping. So $65, we send it to you for free. We take a bit of a knock on that, but we want to get people to try it and taste it. And I believe it's very healthy. So, we are big promoter of that. Everything's on biltongusa.com. And we are trying to expand, our reach of how many people we can supply this to. I think it's, we don't add a bunch of sugar and a bunch of flavorings and things like that. If you're into healthy food, this is what you want to eat. It's like beef, but concentrated in terms of nutrients, basically, in a nutshell.
You know what,
so,
Anton? I'm so glad that you called in this morning, man. I've got your website up here. You've got Wagyu, you got everything. And I just want to say thank you for being a damn good citizen, a damn good patriot, and an amazing dad, father, husband, business owner, patriot, Texan. You tick all the boxes, brother. All of them.
We tried. If you don't live as an example, you cannot expect other people to try and be good people. You need to promote what you believe. And you know what's happening right now is not good, man. These people are coming for us, and we need to dig in.
And
It's
they
time to dig
use
in.
our common sense for the sanctity of life against us.
Well,
Anton,
because we're empathetic people, we really want to see the best for everyone.
Yeah.
Genuinely want to see the best for everyone, and they weaponize that against us. So people need to open their eyes for sure.
thank you for calling, brother. God bless
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Anton Biltong USA. Go check this dude out. There's no reason you shouldn't. Great business. I've had lunch with him. Damn good dude. Here's one that you didn't think coming. Britain. Lines are open. Britain's $12 million fleet of surveillance drones operated since March by the Royal Marines has cameras installed for the Chinese. Will this piss them off? Doubt it. Let's go James down in South Carolina. What do you got, James?
What's up, man? I was calling up watching. I agree with Asmongold, man. He just says the quiet part out loud.
And that offends people.
I think put a stop to it, whatever. Poland does that. You try to cross their border illegally, they shoot you.
It offends people. The truth is scary for people, right?
I mean, if you got people that are trying, why else would somebody try to sneak across the border? They could actually walk across.
Yeah.
You're sneaking in for a reason. So I don't understand we need to quit all this bleeding heart empathy crap. It's gonna get everybody killed in this country.
You know what? The movie Old Yeller, he loved that dog, but he got rabies.
I had to put him down.
He had to put Old Yeller down. Old Yeller did so much good for the family, and against
100%.
all of his training and his instincts, he caught the mind virus, so to speak, the woke mind virus.
100%.
And we all cried when Old Yeller died. We all did.
100%. If you did, something's wrong with you.
But that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of people
100%.
that we have I've got a lot of friends and family members that it hurts my heart when I realize they caught the woke mind virus. That's our modern day rabies. That's our modern day plague. That's our modern day bubonic plague is the woke mind virus.
Yeah, that and TDS.
Exactly. I think those go hand in hand. James, thank you for calling Semper Fi, brother. God bless you. There we go. Carrie, Ohio. What do you got, Carrie?
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
The reason I called is the senator saying that we were short on munitions and things of that nature for the war. We're using old munitions that we either didn't sell or would be going bad, and that if they're not used, they have to destroy them anyway. And I want to relate this to a story. I did some geotechnical drilling on a couple bases down in Carolina. You probably know about this. The water was so contaminated from old munitions setting in the ground that it caused a lot of problems for the Marines down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, all I'm saying is if we don't use these munitions up, they go bad anyway, and we're nowhere short on anything like that.
Don't believe anything the news media tells you. For people that disagree with the news media and then suddenly they latch onto we're out of munitions, you're you've used your own hypocrisy against you. Thank you for calling, Carrie. God bless you, brother. Appreciate you. That's what's happening. Your own hypocrisy has been turned against you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't understand. I want to say shout out to Patty. Bought me 3 coffees over on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much. That's a great way to support me. I will never turn down a good coffee. And that's just one of the ways to help out my channel. Right? Let me let's do this. Let's grab. I've probably got time for 1 or 2 more. Is all I've got time for before I go get my regular job. Let's go. Tommy Guitar. Make it quick, Tommy. I'm going to try to get
Hey,
through two or
Dan,
three of these.
I just want to ask you a question. You know, I've harped on these anti-communist acts and everything, and nothing has ever been.
You have
But
harped on
why-
it. The horse is dead. If you're calling in to beat the horse again, it's not going anywhere.
I'm not. I'm asking you. I'm asking you why you think that, like, that there was an attorney in Congress who, you know, gave the information, that young lawyer, the female lawyer, about, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood and the connections and all these things.
Oh, God.
I just want to know why nothing's ever been mentioned. Why nothing has been tried.
Let me turn the question back around for you. You're starting to be.
Go ahead. Tell me why you think nobody has tried anything.
Why do you think? Why do you think? You
I
call
don't
in with
know,
the
I
same
don't know,
question
Dan. I've
every
read
day.
all these
You
laws.
call in with the
They're
same
all
question every day.
correct.
Why do you think?
Shit, because they're all crooked. That's all.
Okay, there's
Come
your
on.
answer. There's your answer. Bobby, Tennessee, what do you got?
Hey, you know, back during the Revolutionary War, we, the patriots that wanted to free this country, all met in pubs, barns, houses, and how they did that because of all the British spies. They had to pass notes. Nothing was spoken out loud because of the spies. Now our own government spies on us. So I suggest, because you can't fight these people alone. Small groups, hide your phones, put them in lead boxes, and pass notes. And all the small groups, because that's how we won. We had all these small groups of militias that formed, and they didn't know about it.
Let me tell you this. I'll tell you this. I want to clue you, anyone in that doesn't know this. I'm about to shock you. I'm about to shock a lot of people.
Yeah.
1% motorcycle clubs, the 1%ers.
Yep.
Right? I got a lot of friends, 1%ers. Do you know what they
So do
use
I.
to communicate?
What are they using now?
Fax machines. They
Fax
cannot be
machines.
traced. Cannot be
That's right.
traced. God bless you.
Yep.
Fax machines. They've been using them for years. Let's go here. Line 3. You've tried calling multiple times. Hopefully you got something good to say. What do you got?
Hi, Ben. It's Regina. I wanted to know if Mike Lindell told Trump about this yet.
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I'm not in on a group call with Mike Lindell and Trump. I don't know about that.
I know, but you hear secrets sometimes. I thought maybe you knew. You have a good day.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
Bye.
I don't have those kind of answers. I wish I did. I wish I did. All right. I don't know where you're at on the spectrum of free speech. I don't know where you're at on the spectrum of the border. I hope you're in Minnesota. You go do the right thing and vote for the right person. Somebody says can't call them at work. If you have extra one of the books, I like to make it a condition for my daughter to get her driver. I don't know you. I have no idea. Let's go here. Line 5. What do you got? Line 5. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Jamie in Ohio.
Jamie in Ohio. What do you got?
Love the show. Love the fire this morning. Senator Murphy is a clown.
He is.
Mexico Mike is trying to get in the clown car with him. And I love the new outro.
You know, I just don't understand how we have gotten to the
Donald Trump
point
has lost.
where we're at, where people are actively betraying what we thought of them. If I came on here this morning and said, hey, I'm flipping, I want to start a third party, blah, 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 I would hope every one of you would give me the double bird. Thank you for calling, brother. God bless you.
I would. God bless you.
I want you to give me the double bird if I ever do that. Here, I want to play this last couple of minutes here. I'm going to play the last about a minute and a half of my video I put out last night. I will put the link in the description. This is how I feel, okay? I want you to go check this out, please. The message is so, to me, it's important. You might think I'm an idiot, a window licker. That's okay. I'm okay with you calling me a window licker. All right? You know what? Let's just do this. You might call me a window licker. I don't care at this point.
So Donald Trump has lost this war. America is weaker. Iran is stronger.
This is how Washington, D.C. loses wars. A sitting United States senator, paid by you, the taxpayer, his name's Chris Murphy. He's a lawyer baby. His dad was a corporate lawyer out of Connecticut. Just came out and told America that we lost the war, that the United States lost the war in Iran. Do you know how dangerous this is? Do you know what this does to the United States military, to military families, spouses, to people that have a service member deployed downrange? More importantly, the people on those ships, on those submarines, on those bases, they're going to get wind of this. There are men and women deployed over to Iran that are probably from Connecticut. And the sitting senator, Chris Murphy, just said to America, said to the world, the United States lost the war. Think about that for just a second. This is a Tokyo Rose, Hanoi Hilton, Jane Fonda, Hanoi Jane moment right now. This is Benedict Arnold. I can't believe that I saw this on the news. I can't believe NBC actually allowed the guy to say it without pushing back at all. But we all know what happens. The United States military can win on the battlefield and always lose in Washington, D.C. We saw it in World War II. We saw it in Korea. We saw it in the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was never actually declared a war by Congress. We saw it during the first Gulf War. We saw it in the second Gulf War, Iraqi freedom, Kuwaiti liberation. And we're seeing it right now again. The United States military is owning the battlefield. Have there been casualties? Absolutely. But nowhere near the number of all those previous events that I said. Less people have died during this conflict than the Marine barracks that Iran was responsible for. Think about that. Less people have died in this conflict than the lives that were lost on the USS Cole. That should tell you something, Senator Chris Murphy. Now, I want to say this to the family members that have military downrange. Do not listen to this rhetoric. This is nothing more than a demoralization campaign, and it's becoming more and more common. Now, there's a couple of things that I would like to say. Number one, how do you define victory with the situation in Iran? For me personally, and this, I'd love to get your opinion on this. For me, I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That is off the table. We have seen how erratic their leadership is. We don't even know who is their lead negotiator. So who would actually be in charge if Iran did have a nuclear weapon? Who would make the decisions? The IRGC making these decisions? I'm not sure about that, but that is the red line for me. The second thing is the Strait of Hormuz. I don't believe Iran should be able to control the world's most important waterway. The same people that I just mentioned that I don't want to have nuclear capabilities, I also don't want them to be able to choke out the world's economy. I don't think that's a lot to ask, Senator Chris Murphy. I'm dedicating this video to you. Now, the other thing I would like to talk about, and I'd like to get your feedback on, is Iran stronger right now? Are they weaker? I think we have, number one, weakened their economy. We have weakened their military capabilities. We have destroyed their navy. There's a lot of people that will say, well, you know, they're still able to do this. They're still able to do that. It's a huge country. Massive. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the helps of China, with Pakistan, with Turkey, with Yemen. We don't understand that, at least not publicly. I'm sure our military leaders and intelligence joint chiefs, they know what's going on. We've got satellite capabilities. We could probably read the license plates on their golf carts and read their name tags on their camels. So that's one of the things that I really believe is important. Weakening them, weakening their economy. At the same time, we have weakened China's economy because they depend on oil from Iran. So those are two major, major events. Do you classify those as victories? That's up to you to decide. But I think there's multiple things happening. And, we all were told this was going to be a quick battle. Things change. Things on the battlefield change. Things in the Strait of Hormuz change. Things in the air change. Things on the ground change at these bases. Things change. You adapt, you overcome. That's what the military does. That's what they're trained to do. And the only thing that typically slows down the United States military are all the people that are now on a recess for 37 days. And that would be the Senate and also Congress and all of these other talking head political pundits. That's what loses battles. If it's just a straight up, let's get it on the battlefield, the United States military is unmatched. I would challenge any of you to tell me another country that has the military capability that we do. Last but not least, is America safer? I believe America is safer. The longer we delay Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, the longer we stay safe here at home. The other thing that I've noticed is we're starting to understand who is really working for America and who's actively working against it. Who's doing the legwork for the IRGC? And I'll give you two names. One's the news media, and number two are members of the Democrat Party. And now this splinter cell group with Tucker, MTG, and Thomas Massie. They would legitimately trade an Iranian victory for their advancement. I think I'm right with this. They would love to be able to say Trump's military lost, therefore I'm the better option. I really think that is something that they would take home to their voters. Hey, send me your money. Trump lost. Forget about all the Americans in the military that are over there laying their life on the line. Forget that. There's so many of these religion of peace people here running for office that they don't want to offend. Now, the one thing that bothered me the most watching that clip today with this Senator Chris Murphy was that I know he's not the only Democrat that is thinking this. He's not the only politician that thinks the United States lost this war. I don't think this has been a war. I think this has been controlled, targeted strikes, strategic strikes. That's what I think. Have we lost this? I don't believe so. Have we weakened their capabilities? Yeah. But what worries me more than the IRGC? What worries me more about the Iranian military is not over there. It's the people in our country right now that want to see America fail. And I think the Democrat Party would love to see the American military fail. I think they would take that. They would parade that around for years. It's very reminiscent of Vietnam, with those men that came home from Vietnam and women that were never told welcome home. It's starting to really feel like that. Now, the time frame isn't like that. It's not stretched out for that many years. I think it's maybe 11 years. Quote me if I'm wrong on that. But I believe that's what we're seeing. We're seeing politicians become pundits. We're seeing the news media become experts, military experts. The news media suddenly has the power to define military victory. And that's something we've never seen before. The judgment, the talking heads of the media determine who wins. That scares me. That scares me a lot. Because the last time I checked, the United States military doesn't work for the news media. And I don't know who the news media is working for. And I damn sure don't know who some of our politicians are working for. Thanks for watching. Little rant. I feel like I had to get that off my chest because it bothers me. As someone that spent a lot of time on a submarine, isolated, disconnected, not knowing what our politicians are thinking of us, now I see that side. And if there's any United States military members watching, I want to say this to you. I know you haven't lost anything. And the only way you ever lose is because the politicians in D.C. don't allow you to lose. When I hear every submarine in the United States Navy is out of Tomahawks, out of Mark 48 torpedoes, out of some other things, then I'll think that we're in a bad situation. Until then, America, you haven't seen shit yet. Stay strong. Let me add myself back to this. Let's go here. I don't know if you agree with my message there. I don't know. But every now and then I get something in my brain that I've just got to get rid of. I've got to get some of these thoughts out. I think we need to call this Chris Murphy's office and express our opinion. And I hope so. Wait, I didn't mean to do that. We need to call this Chris Murphy's office, and I need to get something off my chest because this guy's a clown.
Sorry. Hello, you have reached the Hartford office of Senator Chris Murphy. We are sorry to have missed your call. Please leave a message with your name, address, and phone number, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
Is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Yes, Senator Chris Murphy, United States Senator, you work for the American taxpayer. For you to go on a nationally syndicated talk show, TV show, whatever you want to call it, and say America lost, Iran won, is disgusting. You're a lawyer, baby. You've always been a lawyer. You've always been in some political office. You've never had a real job. And any man or woman in uniform has a million times more patriotism in their toe jam than you do. I will do everything I can to make sure that someone replaces you in office. You're treasonous, and you're nothing more than Jane Fonda wearing a senator's pin. And I hope you understand what you've done. There you go. There you go. That's my call to Senator Chris Murphy's office out of Connecticut. What he said was dangerous, man. My opinion, what he said's dangerous. I'll take 2 more calls and then I've got to go to work. Okay? I just can't understand how anyone doesn't see the dangerous crap that this guy pulled. And I can't go along with this kind of stuff, you know? Can't go along with it. Some people will. Some people can. I can't grin and bear it. Let's take a call here. We got line 3. Where are you calling from? What is your name?
Kimberly in Georgia.
Kimberly in Georgia. What would you like to say, Kimberly?
I looked up last night, and the people that are on the low income bracket are available for housing, right? Well, also, the sex offenders are on the list to be able to get housing, and the government pays parts of their monthly rates for their sexual activities to be out in the open.
What does that have to
do?
do? What does that have to do with what we were just talking about? I don't see the
just
connection
thought
here.
The way y'all bounce around, I just thought that needed to be said this morning.
Okay.
Sex
Thank you for that.
offenders get rent off of taxpayers' money. Have a blessed day.
All right. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Wow. Murphy equals Jane Fonda tonight. Live stream, or there's going to be an interview between these two clowns, stepbrothers. Let's go Eunice in New York. What do you got, Eunice?
How you doing, Ben?
Amazing. What about you?
Okay. Maybe people won't agree with me, but this is how I feel.
Sure.
Prayer is all good and well, and I'm a God-fearing woman, but I think the time for we could still pray, but it's time to do more than pray. And as far as our empathy and our morals and whatever else getting in the way, it's time that we have to put them aside. And if we got to sink down to their level to get our country safe in whatever it has to do, no matter what you do, they're going to cause us collateral damage, or we're going to cause some of our own. Sometimes that's what has to be done. I'm not saying just go and kill everybody straight outright. No. But the time has come. It's time to stop turning the other cheek, and it's time to put a fist right up their face.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate you calling. God bless you. Strong words from Eunice. She's not wrong. I'm sure Daniel and Samson were godly men. But you know exactly right. Caller was crazy. Not maybe the one before Eunice, but yeah. Maybe the one before. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know how it's going to work out. Tonight, though, I guarantee you these clowns, how quickly do you think they blame the laptop on Trump, Israel, Ukraine? One of those three is responsible for the laptop. Ben, will you be with the 1% in Dearborn, Michigan on August 18th? Will I be in Dearborn, Michigan? No, I will not go to Dearborn, Michigan. I don't even like Somalian food. I don't like Somalian food. Why would I go to Dearborn? And I would recommend nobody else go to Dearborn.
On the 1MC, pass the word. Dive, dive. Sound 2 blasts of dive alarm. Pass the word. Dive, dive.
Dive, dive. Dive, dive.
Here we go again. Here we go again. Same old song again. Same old song again. Marching down the avenue. Marching down the avenue. We don't know who will be true. We don't know who will be true. They cry, a long, long time ago. Long, long time ago. Heard it on the radio. Heard it on the radio. Sounds so good to me. Sounds so good to me. U.S. Navy submarine. U.S. Navy submarine. Recruiter just inside here. Recruiter just inside here. Turns out I gave them 5 years. Turns out I gave them 5 years. Had to get out of boot camp. Had to get out of boot camp. They won't like the smoking lamp. They won't like the smoking lamp. Now I'm a submariner. Now I'm a submariner. Rolling in the deep surf. Rolling in the deep surf. Top secret mission, hush, hush. Secret mission, hush, hush. No one's gonna find us. No one's gonna find us. 6 months below the ocean. 6 months below the ocean. Can't remember the sun. Can't remember the sun. Can't write my wife no letters. Can't write my wife no letters. And Tony's gonna get her. Tony's gonna get her. But I won't trade this life away. I won't trade this life away. Makes it worth the Navy pay. Makes it worth the Navy pay. If I can't be a bobblehead. I can't be a bobblehead. Might as well just be dead. Might as well just be dead. Long, long time ago. Long, long time ago. Heard it on the radio. Heard it on the radio. Sounds so good to me. Sounds so good to me. U.S. Navy submarine. U.S. Navy submarine. Say, Riley, 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 Riley. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. been? Where have you been? I've been to Coral Sea. I've been to Coral Sea. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Korea. I've been to Korea. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Vietnam. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Desert Storm. I've been to Desert Storm. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Afghanistan. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Iraq and back. I've been to Iraq and back. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where will you be? Where will you be? I'll be where I have to be. I'll be where I have to be. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Live, cry, live, free. Cry, live, free. Live, cry, live, cry, live.
Okay, guys, gals, girls, this is Ben Dykes Show. Smash a like and subscribe on your way out the door. See you in the next one. Ben Dykes Show is out. Guys, if you don't understand the game, you'll never understand how to win. The rules of the game have changed. The people that love America play by the rules. The people that hate America change the rules, and then they try to win on their, level. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.